Okay, I'm going to do a little bit of a streamer fishing here. So I've got 2 streamers on, 2 buggers basically. And I'm going to do a kind of a down and across technique here. Sometimes you only get one chance. He came after it twice. He's hitting it. There he is. A bigger fish too. Nice. Yeah, I could feel him totally chasing it and hitting it, but he just wasn't taking it. Nicer fish. Nice. Yeah, he's a good fish. Ooh, there he goes. I got my drag on here too, man. He's pulling the line out. Ooh. Yeah, he grabbed the bottom one. Ooh, he's on fire. This guy is hot. He didn't go. Oh, look how silver he is. So fun. That is a nice rainbow. Solid, man. Solid. All right, let me get back over here. Hey, you guys, welcome back to the channel. Today, I'm doing a fishing report on the Upper Kern, so stay tuned.
And even if my pocket's empty, I don't really want to go to work. No.
Okay, let's see if I can get one in here. Sometimes there's a fish in these little pockets in here. Let's see if I can pop one in here and see. Ooh, that might have been a chance right there. Another one. See if we give me another chance. Let that just pull the rod up a little higher. There's one. Yeah, he was hitting me. Oh. He was hitting me. Oh, nice fish. That's wild. Oh, yeah, beautiful. Put you in here, bud. Yeah. Solid. Awesome. Healthy fish. Let's see, he took the hare's ear. Just these little pockets, you know, using the dry dropper. Nice little fish. Get that guy out again. Yeah, nice wild fish. Put you in there. Awesome. The old dry dropper. Pretty cool. Okay, so I'm going to show you guys, you know, how to do a dry dropper rig real quick. Super easy. But let's just say that I have a dry fly on, and I'm going to be using put a couple of nibs below that. I like to use a big dry fly because it acts like an indicator. It floats real good, that sort of thing. So I want to show you first and foremost how I tie that and how easy the formula is, and it'll work really good for you wherever you fish. Whatever trout stream you go to, it's going to work really good. So I'm going to use this fly line so that you guys can see what I'm doing, and what I'm tying and how I'm tying the knots and that sort of thing, and make it really easy. Okay, so I'm going to show you guys a couple of tricks to tying on. So let's say I've got my dry fly, you know, my big fuzzy wuzzy, let's say, and I'm going to tie 2 droppers below that, and I want to show you guys the formula for that. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to tie let's say I'm using a 4X tippet below that. So I'm going to go ahead and make a loop knot here. Basically, it's a clinch knot without the hook. And all I'm doing is I'm twisting it here. I'm going to show you how I'm doing that. I'm twisting just like this. And then I'm just going to do a basic clinch knot here and make a knot there, right? And then this will just cinch down right onto the hook. So then I would put that on the hook, okay? Then I'm going to go from the middle of my chest here. I'm going to measure off about 3 feet. And I use 3 feet because that's a good little measuring point to go to my first fly. So middle of my chest, a wingspan there. Then I'm gonna pull off another 18 inches or so here. And so now this tag, this first line I made, the 3-footer, this fly, the first fly I'm going to put on is going to be actually on this tag here going down. But then I'm going to tie another piece of 4X tippet, 5X tippet below that and put another fly. So I'm just going to do a double surgeon's knot here, like that. Of course, I'm going to moisten this down. This is fly line, so you don't really need to do that with fly line because it's too thick. But so here would be my first setup. So I'm going to cut this a little shorter. So I've got basically my knot here that I would put right onto my dry fly, right on the bend of the hook, and then coming down, I've got a tag. I'm going to put my first fly here, and then I'll put my second fly here. And that would be my dry dropper rig. Very, very simple. You can pre-tie them if you wanted to. I do mine right on the stream, and they work fantastic. The reason why I like a tag instead of tying off the bend of the hook is this has a freer float as it's spinning around underneath the dry fly, and you can change out flies pretty easily. Put another fly, if that one's not working, you could put another fly on here and then have your other fly down here. You can change out flies really easily. I like to use the bottom tag because it pulls on the knot just like that. So that's a really easy way to do your dry dropper setup, and I would try it if I was you. It's really fast and easy. This hole right there. There's one. Nice. He's not messing around. So using the old dry dropper. Nice fish. Boy, he grabbed it pretty quickly. Yeah. Nice. Okay. So using that dry dropper technique that I just showed you guys, I caught this guy on the, looks like the hare's ear, and super feisty. I take the barbs off all the hooks so they come out real easy, and I'm releasing the fish. And also notice I'm just keeping the fish in the water so it can breathe, and then I can show you guys real quick. Let me show you. And I'm going to let him go. He's still feisty. He's ready to go. I'm going to put him back right now. Woo! He didn't really have a choice, but there he goes. Time of day. Pretty fun stuff. I would get up first light and fish till about 10 or 11, get off the water. If you're fishing down towards Kernville, water temperatures are starting to get up in that 68 range in the middle of the day. So we did have a cool down, so the water is a little bit cooler, but as we go through the weekend, this July 4th weekend, water temperatures are going to get up a little bit higher. So getting on the water early, I mean, like first light and fish for 4 or 5 hours, it's awesome. There's some caddis hatching early in the morning, and the fish are looking up for them early in the morning. So get on the water early, get off the water 11 o'clock or so, go hang out, go swimming, go do something like that. But fishing in the middle of the day, it's hot, and it's not too great for the fish. So something to think about. So where to go? I'm at the powerhouse. Flows below the powerhouse, which is just right up the road right here, are about 450. So the water's a little bit higher here, but super wadeable, prime time. I mean, it's just a great time to be up here on the Kern. It's hot outside, so we're just trunking it, wearing our wading boots, wearing our shorts, and it's super comfortable out there. One of the things that you want to watch out for when you go above the Johnsondale Bridge, the flows are going to be in that same range, 450 or so. If you come down below the Fairview Dam, the flows are in the 120 range. So they're a lot lower between here and the Fairview Dam. So just keep that in mind. So flows here in town in Kernville, 450, go above the powerhouse, which is just right up here, not very much further than where I'm at right now. And the flows are going to be a lot lower up there. So techniques I was using this morning, I was just using a dry dropper, and I had a fuzzy wuzzy here on the top, and then down here I had a tag. This one is the Duracell size 14, and then I had a hare's ear, jig head style hare's ear. You guys know I love to use those two flies, and they were producing really, really well for me. Just doing a dry fly with a dropper. It's that time of year. They'll come up and look at your dry fly, your big dry fly, and it's just a great way to walk up the river and fish that way. So technique wise, that's what I was using. It works really well. The rod I've been using a lot lately is the Sage R8 core. It's a 9-foot 3-weight, handles the fish on the Kern just great. If you're going to get a rod, a multi-purpose rod, definitely use a 4 or a 5 weight for the Kern. This is just something that I've been using. It's just been fantastic. But I was also using a streamer rod as well, a 5-weight streamer rod. And I had a 3X leader tapered down to a 4X tippet. And I had 2 tags on there, one for one streamer, and I had 2 streamers on there, a thin mint and an olive bugger, and they were going for that as well. So I did fish 2 techniques, the dry dropper rig as well as the streamer rig. So you can change it up. I like to fish upstream with one technique, like the dry dropper, turn around, grab my other rod, fish downstream with a totally different technique, and pick up fish that weren't eating the nymphs underneath the dry fly. Hey, I want to thank you guys for subscribing to the channel. We're pushing up to 10,000 subscribers, which is awesome. And it's unbelievable, actually. But if you guys haven't subscribed, it's real easy. It's free. Just hit that subscribe button right there, that notifications bell, and it'll let you know the next time I'm doing a fishing report. Much appreciated. Hey, I want to thank you guys for watching. We'll see you guys next time here on the Kern River Fly Shop Fishing Report.
And even if my pocket's empty, I don't really wanna go to work.